Hey, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the boom VADER from Red Fox Power Sports versus the Power Sports Max XPRO X7. Now the XPRO is bone stock, just the way you would get it, and the VADER is slightly modified. Let's get to a couple pros and cons of the XPRO first. Pros: she came damn near 100% complete. Only thing we had to do was put the handlebars on and then adjust the levers. Now, whoever put this bike together paid attention to detail, took care of it. There was not one loose bolt on this bike, and going over it, I couldn't find no issues with it. She's, like I said, she's bone stock. She fires up, no problem. She runs good too. Now, there was one con about this that made it kind of frustrating off the get-go. It took me a second to realize it, but for initial first startup, I wasn't getting any fuel to the carburetor, and with a little digging I found out that the main fuel line was pinched in between the gas tank and the frame. But other than that, that was the only issue with this bike. After I got that going, she fired right up. Did minimal adjustment to the choke to make sure that it would work on cold mornings and so on and so forth. But yeah, this XPRO is a damn good bike. I have nothing better to say about it. I mean, there's not very many bad things to say about this bike. The company's great, and shipping was awesome. I think it was here in like 6 business days. And like I said, they took care of my sister very well. Now on to this bitch. Now, when I got this, I got it 85% complete. There was an option to get it where it got sent to you 100% complete, but I didn't think it was worth the extra money they were asking to send it that way. And I knew from all the reviews and stuff like that that I was going to end up tearing this apart anyway and just going over everything, so I just left it alone. Now, every damn bolt on this bike was pretty much loose. There's a lot of cons with this if you're gonna buy it. If you do, I suggest you tear the whole damn thing apart and go through everything meticulously. Check everything, and I mean everything. The reason I went for this bike was because it was affordable. It was $1,099.95, and then shipping was $240 to your doorstep. And the XPRO right now at Power Sports Max is $1,047 and then $240 shipping. So cheaper bike, better bike than that one. Now, as you can see by walking around this one, she's far from stock. This bike didn't start being stock. I did everything to it before we fired it up, so I can't give you an opinion on how this bike was with all the stock components and so on and so forth. That's why I'm doing a semi comparison between these two. Now, with this one, first things we did with it was we got the VM22 knockoff carb and the intake, removed the airbox and the evap system. What you're gonna have to do when you do that is you're gonna have to get you a fuel shutoff. You don't mind the piece of shit fuel shutoff that I got, it works. The next thing you're gonna have to do while going over this is remove that cover and adjust that little plate inside there, because I could not get this everything adjusted just with the cable by itself. Don't mind the peg. I got new rear sets coming. That's the aftermath of the I broke it video. Now, the exhaust also did right off the bat. It's an Amazon exhaust. Not the greatest, not the worst. Sounds good actually. I'll throw a sound clip in. And as you can see, she fires right up. This is how that Amazon exhaust sounds. The next thing is the rear sub cage. Now, I can't tell you what brand it is, but I know it came off of a 2015 Honda Grom. It bolted right up, no issues whatsoever. And it also came with sliders for the front and the back, but I didn't put the back ones on. Next thing you're gonna need, unless you want to leave it stock, it comes with the 428 14 tooth front sprocket, and it is the same on the XPRO, but we jumped up to a 428 17 tooth. And as far as the evap goes, you can see I still left that on, but what I did was I just did a piece of metal in between the both motor and the evap system there, just to seal it off. Now the suspensions on these are crap on both bikes. That one's too stiff, this one's alright. Both front forks ain't worth the shit. So if you're more of a heavy set type person, you know, I'd go with the XPRO, because it seems like the person who puts these together is a little bit on the heavy set side. That's why they set it up so stiff. And then VADER, I don't think they really gave a shit about putting this together. Now, we have the KLX DRZ 110 bars. After looking at about a bunch of different ones, you know, the consensus was these ones were the best. And, you know, I like them. They're very comfortable. It's a little bit of a wider, your arms are a little bit wider and it takes a little getting used to, but I love them. They feel great. They're strong, and as you can see in the video, they take a beating. Now these stupid levers from Amazon, I believe, they're not worth a shit. The master cylinder sucks, and for the brakes, and the clutch is just, it's really flimsy. The brake's not as flimsy, but it just, I don't know if I have air in the system or what, but I'll get it figured out sooner or later. Now, to the best of my knowledge, if I had to make a guess and go back in time and ask myself, would I buy this VADER? The answer would be no, honestly. For the little bit of extra money, I could have got a way better one with a stiff transmission like I've been reading about, like this one. This one, even after 1,800 miles, the transmission is shit. It's very hard to shift, and I was hoping after braking time it would get a little bit smoother, but it hasn't. So with that being said, yeah, the XPRO is definitely the way to go. The company is so much better. They treat you better, and they have a way better product. But they're both fun bikes. I really like the blue one. It's pretty. You know, they didn't have the blue one in stock at XPRO whenever my sister ordered hers. Or, sorry, not XPRO, at Power Sports Max. And as far as everything else goes, I don't know what else to say about them. I mean, if there's anything you guys want to know about So Said bikes, leave me a comment, ask me, if I've missed a lot of stuff that you would like to know on these types of reviews. You gotta forgive me, I'm new to this stuff. I get tongue-tied really easily and trying to figure out how all this shit works. But yeah, this is Two Wheel Antics. Leave me a like, give me a comment, subscribe. Let me know what the hell y'all want to see on this channel, and then I'll do my best to make it happen. Alright, peace.